I'd like to call the Village of Wolverine Lake Parks and Rec Board to order. Can I get pledge of allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Lindman?
Here.
Longberg?
Here.
Kane?
Here.
Brakovich?
Here.
Jeremy?
Here.
Can I get a motion to excuse Molly and Linda?
So move. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approval of agenda, or do we have any additional items that we need to add? Well, your 5K is not on the agenda.
We could just do that under additional events.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I think it's good. Motion to approve the agenda as is.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approval of minutes from December 18th meeting. Can I get a motion?
Motion approved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Chairperson's report communications to the board. I did get an email from Paige about the spring newsletter. So if there's anything we want to add, I assume the bunny lunch, 5K, if there's anything else we want to add.
Did we want to put in the Eagle Scout project that we collaborated with on, or no? Not in the spring.
Oh, I think that's a good idea.
I don't have any of that information. Does it, you
Linda
know?
does.
Linda would.
Yeah, but Linda's gone for a couple days.
Well,
When's it due?
Thursday, I want to say,
Oh,
but
it
I'm
is?
not holding my,
I see. I remember
I
we,
get that wrong.
because I know Kelly texted about it too.
Do we have to get her all the
19th.
information or just the topic?
The
Everything
19th is the
submitted.
deadline, so that's, yeah, Friday.
Friday?
Friday.
Yeah, wait, whatever.
When is Linda coming back?
Not sure.
I wonder.
She's on vacation.
Friday. Yeah, she's in Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that she was at the,
Toronto.
I wasn't sure when she was going to be back. She just know she told me she wouldn't be here, but she didn't.
Wasn't it cards either?
Right.
So Friday.
Yeah.
See what we can dig up. I know she posted some stuff online. Or
Yeah.
Facebook, so maybe there. You know, always, I mean, maybe a reference to the always looking for help kind of thing, or if we want to add on to that Eagle Scout project and say always, anybody else who wants to, is interested in doing some kind of project like that, we would, you know, love to work with them.
New business A, decide if we're changing the December 19th meeting date because of President's Day. Village Hall is closed.
We usually do. So, do we usually just pump it to the following Monday?
And that's, what date?
February, well, it's
That would be the 26th.
I mean, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, it still gives us like 2 weeks in between, so it wouldn't be like back to back.
3 weeks, yeah, we'd be fine.
Could we do it on Tuesday?
The 20th?
Yeah.
You mean?
Yeah.
Probably not. I think that's when zoning meets.
Oh,
That was my thing. I didn't know if anyone meant.
Zoning meets
Yeah.
zoning usually meets on the Tuesday, and Wednesday usually the water board.
okay.
Now, they moved theirs around, if I recall.
there's always the third week too.
I believe so.
So that would be the 26th. That's the fourth week.
Yeah, they're just trying to see.
Yeah, zoning usually meets the following Tuesday, or the day after us.
Oh,
and-
okay.
And water usually meets the Wednesday after
Wednesday.
us. So,
So the 26th it is.
Okay. Do you have to make a motion for that or no?
we can, just motion to move the meeting to the February meeting to the 26th of February.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So we need to schedule the event, 2024 events.
We already did, oh, okay.
Did a bunch.
We don't have the 5K on there.
Yeah,
No, I have to add
or
that.
that at the new edition.
So did we do the bunny luncheon where the bunny luncheon is the 23rd?
Correct.
Okay, so it's March 23rd for the bunny luncheon.
I didn't know if you thought we should we keep the price the same? All my co-people are not here.
I mean, we've got some time before the flyer goes out.
When does she normally send that out?
Let's
Because
see
we
here,
won't
this one's the
meet till the end of February and bunny lunch
Oh,
is,
that's right.
yeah.
I wouldn't mind raising the price a little bit, just because our prices have gone up significantly and we're still very cheap. But
I just don't want to go over budget. We were under budget last year, but
I would just say, I mean, if we made it like, if we went to like $8 instead of 6, is that where we're at? $6?
6 and 5, I thought
And then if we went to,
I was going to
or
look in
even-
here too, and I
Even if
forgot.
we just got it to where the adults and the kids are all the same price, because it's not as though,
Yeah, because the kids get the prize and parents eat the food.
yeah.
Yeah,
But the parents are more work than the kids too,
But like,
a lot of times.
Santa is what, 6 and 5? And, I mean, you get food, but and you get a little prize, but you don't get like, we give them goodie bags and you have pizza and snacks, so.
Well, why don't you just make it 6 and 6?
Yeah.
Make it $6 for everyone. Yeah, I think as long as it's under $10.
I do too, once you get to $10.
Yeah, once you get to the 2 digits, then it's a big ask. But once it's still single digit, we can even do like $9.99.
I mean, if you have 3 kids, right, coming to an event, then, you
Yeah,
know,
even then-
$10, you're like,
Well, yeah,
Even then, it's less than
family.
$50
if
for
it's
3 kids
if it's
and 2
you,
adults.
if it's like one parent and like 2 kids, that's still 18, so that's less than $20 for the
Yeah.
whole. For like mom and the 2 kids, and dad wants to come along, then it's 8 times 4, so, or not 8 times 4, what am I saying? It's 6 times 4, that's less than 25. So it still works out for them to where they think they're getting a deal. It's not any of the big numbers like 10, 20, 25, but it's like, oh, that's expensive. Or anything like that. It's less than that.
No, we're very reasonable, so.
Exactly.
It's a pretty good price.
And we still have the bunny reserved. I'm trying to stall for time.
I don't know,
because
let me-
Kathy's like, I'm on my way, I forgot.
Well, I don't know.
You don't know?
I'll have to talk with him and figure out what his schedule's like.
Kids are watching.
He just finished college this past year, so he's got more free time, but I don't know. I don't know. He really likes having free time now and actually being able to do things outside of school.
Gonna have to brush up on those ears and
Yeah.
tail
He's finally
It's a lot
getting
of
good at it,
work.
though.
for a centerfold layout.
Yeah, it's a lot of upkeep. It's a lot of upkeep. I'll have to
It is,
talk with
hopefully
him
he'll be
about it.
okay with it.
I think he will, but it's gonna require some persuasion.
Okay.
That's okay.
And you'll still like decorate for the,
Yeah, oh yeah.
the area for the bunny?
Yep. Yep.
When Linda gets back, she wants to consolidate everything, so everything's together, like all the Easter stuff's together, so we're gonna.
Good luck with that.
And we're afraid about getting into the shed, once it gets cold in the snow, but she's a little
You
late on that
know,
one.
We were in there.
we can bring a portable heater in there and warm it
I was
up
about
for
to
a
say,
half
there's
hour
plugs in
before
there,
we.
just
I
bring
was
space.
I was in there last week.
No, I just meant getting
Oh,
inside
I'm
with the
saying,
snow and
well, like
the,
this week probably would be
got
tough
it.
because
Yeah.
like you want to open my garage door, it was creaking and fighting because of some of the snow at the base, but probably next week,
Yeah.
once we get back to more human temperatures. So I think it'll probably be okay.
this is a quote from Linda. If there's a chair for organizing the storage unit, I want to be the chair.
So probably a photo of
Okay,
Kathy.
great, awesome.
She and Kathy could do that. It's up to
Yes,
them.
that'd be great for the two of them.
That won't just
I
be chair and
agree.
vice chair, that'll be co-chairs.
That's awesome.
Eastern Market, I didn't know if I think we scrapped that last year, didn't we? Or
Yeah.
I think we did, I don't even know if it's, because didn't we scrap it the year before
Yeah.
as
well,
well?
we tried it and we didn't get enough people.
Problem is, yeah, the bus
And
is
then
just
like,
so
we don't get the
expensive.
bus free anymore
Yeah,
last year.
last year, that's why we canceled, didn't we cancel it the year prior to that?
We didn't
Yes,
get enough
we
people.
did.
Yeah, the same
The
reason.
last time we were going to do it, where we were actually had enough people, was in 2020.
Yeah.
And something happened. And, but then the bus was 600 or 700. After COVID, the bus went to over 1,000.
Yeah.
And that just made it really hard
Yeah, until.
to get the pricing right, to make it
Yeah, until
feasible.
those prices normalize, if they ever do, I think we just need to strike it for now.
I mean, I wouldn't mind if we asked Tabitha just to, if she could find out what the bus is costing, just to see, but.
I would like her to do that because I had two people call me wanting to do the St. Patty's Day leprechaun hunt.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I have everything for Midtown, like when we had to cancel it that year. So it would be really easy to put together if the bus is affordable.
But
And
is
that
it,
might be what we need, is just to rebrand it to what you were talking about with like the leprechaun hunt.
Yeah.
That might even
It's just
actually attract
Well,
people.
that one's also like, basically it's Uber. To the
Yeah,
bars
right.
and everything else. I mean, for something like that, it has a little more, I think, feasibility, because it's like, well, I'm going to go down and I'm going to enjoy myself, as opposed to the Eastern Market where, it's shopping and everything else. There's, people may not find that as appealing versus, $25, $30.
But I wonder if you called this company and said, we want to book 3 events. And maybe they give you a discount or something if you're booking 3 events. Right? I don't know. I'll have Paige look into it.
well, the only thing is about the leprechaun thing is
Yeah.
we don't meet again until February 26th. Is that going to be enough time for you to get people? That's only what?
Well,
couple
they
weeks?
never respond to it till right before anyway. But, I mean, I
That's
can
what I
have
was-
Paige look into it and everything can get created
Yeah.
ahead of time. I mean, it wasn't a budget item.
Yeah, I know. I just want to
Right?
make sure
We
that we
didn't-
can.
It wasn't
not
a
a line
budget item,
No, it's
so
not a
it's
budget
just a matter of you pay your money and,
Yeah,
So
No,
I-
we have general event funds in the budget, so that the village can.
is there enough in there to like kind of throw some that way?
There is 3,000, if I recall. Well, that's kind of what this is. It's
Yeah.
the miscellaneous event budget.
Right.
So, yeah, and
So-
so the only 2 events that we would have are the 5K
Yeah.
and this, potentially.
Right.
And then the contests come out of that general fund. That's what I.
Yeah,
I did bring it.
Which is not like,
Bus trips.
not like
This is written in.
huge amount.
Yeah, and the contest is in here too. But yeah, we have 3,000 in there.
Well, maybe we just need half of the bus, I'm just thinking out loud here, maybe we just need, maybe half of the bus trip. Right?
What do you mean?
Well, like if the bus costs, I don't know, I can't remember, like $700.
No, it was like 1,000.
Was it? So then maybe we contribute 500 to that, for that.
They wouldn't let me do that for Eastern Market, but I mean, that's
They
different.
wouldn't?
That's, no, you've got
Who
to.
would- oh,
If the
okay.
village is the one paying for it,
Yeah.
it has to be entirely allotted within. If people were directly writing a check to the bus company, that would be
Yeah.
one thing. But because the village is actually writing the check, it's the nature of accounting. It gets a little messier,
Okay.
as I understand it.
Does that mean like, we'll just talk about next year, it would have to be a line item then?
No, we could do it under the other events budget. We would just have to have a budget sufficient to support
Yeah.
the
Whole event.
5K, the bus trips, the signage, or the decorating
Yeah.
contest. Now, what we can do in the in the next budget is we can have Jen line item out the 5K and the
Yeah.
decorating contest, because those have become more established events. And then, say we do that, and then we drop the other events budget down to 2,000, or keep it the same. Either way, it's, most of these things are pretty revenue neutral, so it's not a damage to, the only event that we really do that really costs us money is the corn roast, but that's the Village Festival, so it's a different event. Otherwise, most of our events are pretty minimal cost to the village, and they do add value, so it's a perfectly justifiable thing to do. So, we can look into it. We spent about 2,000 in 21-22 on that other events budget, so that would have been mostly the 5K, and then the decorations. So now that we're at 3, it'd probably be feasible.
I mean, like if we this is not any
Depending
of
on
your
what they say.
prizes, but say we charge $50, we'll just say, and you had 50 people, that would be, how much we would.
I don't think that, so the last time we went, I think the bus held 50, we had like 45 people or 47 people. I mean, it was almost full.
Yeah.
And actually, I needed some extra seats because we needed it for the food and the gifts and, that sort of
I
thing.
think they hold 52 buses
Yeah, I was just saying.
I think we had like,
for some reason.
I can't remember.
And then what you do is, if you need the seats, is just cap it at 45, and then
Yeah,
Then you'd have to get 45.
and then you have a target number of what you need to make money, and then anything can be surplus. So that it doesn't matter. You don't actually have to fill the bus to make it
right.
work. That's what we did when we were going to do when we did the baseball game. Because, but that was for the tickets, less for
Yeah,
the bus
that's-
cost. But we
bus was
dropped,
free.
I think we bought 25 tickets instead of 50, because one year the village sold 8. So that way, we cut it down, and then anybody else who wanted to go, we could probably go back and get tickets or what have you, but that way it worked out. But back then, the bus was free, so.
Yeah. And the only thing too is if we get the bus, they have to know 30 days in advance whether we're going to keep the bus, because to get your money back. So that's another, because we had to cancel it within 30 days.
Nobody ever.
Yeah. I don't know
The
what.
times we did it, nobody, agreed to do it till later on.
Yeah, but I think we had
Because you
free
have
bus.
weather like this and nobody wants to think
Yeah.
about walking down in Detroit with green on.
And when would it be?
Like, I'm not doing that.
When would it be this year?
I don't know, it's the 17th.
So you'd have it on the 17th?
Well, no, it's the
Oh.
17th of, I think it's on a Sunday this year, isn't it? I don't even know.
Yeah, 17th is a Sunday.
It's a Sunday,
I'm doing really good at it.
so we would do it on the 16th.
Okay.
We would do it Saturday the
Yeah, we're talking
16th.
about the Easter market.
The St. Patrick's
Yeah, we're
Day.
talking about St. Pat's.
So, it'll be March
St. Pat's instead of
16th.
doing Easter
One
market.
of those
So-
party buses go for.
Striking Easter
That don't
market.
hold
would still
the-
be
I can make some calls.
rental
I
trip
know a guy who drives it.
You do?
to Metro
Well,
Detroit.
drives me to the airport.
Oh, does he? When's
Just like
Amtrak?
essentially an Uber as more
He has a company
to
that goes
Easter
through, yeah.
market if we're doing an actual event.
March 16th, and, it might be too late to get a bus.
This already right here.
That event already anyway.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to revive it. Just how do we do it to attract attention? That's what the main point
Yeah, we
is.
can just try and figure something out.
I figure.
I don't think we can charge more than 25 or so.
We're thinking
Well, we charged 25 when we had the bus.
But you give-
Oh, because you
But
got
that
that.
would, that
good stuff.
included a meal. Maybe we don't include a meal,
contingent on
right?
the success of it.
Maybe we don't include, maybe we do a snack or something. They can go down in Midtown, there's so many restaurants in Midtown they can go eat.
How much how many people can you get? Oh, here it is. Full-size tour bus up to 60 seats. it was said, party, between 100 and 170 is the cost per hour. I'm just giving you a general. For like
Oh, that's a party bus.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
big bus.
Well, because you have
I was
60
thinking of
people.
something silly.
Yeah,
It says
no, I don't.
medium
Not
up
to
to,
be, I try to think of something more like
There's school bus?
bachelorettes and bachelor parties would be
Right,
that kind of
right.
things.
Maybe you have
We're going
30
down to the
people,
game
20.
together kind of thing, or whatever.
well, that's probably why there's that big price range between 100 and 170. Because they have small,
Okay.
medium, and then full size.
$100.
Well, Paige has got that direct contact with the bus company, so I'll just let her look into that.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that you have enough time.
Yeah, I'm really not too worried about that. It's just I got 2 calls back to back on that. I go, geez, I haven't even really thought about it because of the cost of the bus.
The thing is,
But I don't have to do food.
yeah, if you decide to do the bus, then whatever, I don't think it's us, whatever upstairs decides by February 17th, you gotta meet the price, don't you?
Oh,
30
yeah.
days before?
Well, I
Yeah, I
would do
think
that.
that would be-
I would do that in the next couple weeks. I wouldn't wait till.
We may not have enough time from what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, because I'm like,
Yeah.
if we're gonna, I don't know if there's something we have to do so that we can get, and I know you have to look at the price, but at least
Right.
that way, when you find out the price, you can say, okay, Paige, go ahead and submit it. You know what I mean? So that a flyer can go out.
So we
and
can
get
make a
people-
proposal that we might want to do this, and
If you think it's cost efficient, then go ahead and,
to release funds for it. I mean, I don't think there's really anything we need to release because it would be just, unless we wanted to.
Well, we could, I mean, if you're going to do it, you could release funds. We would still have time to release funds in the February meeting. And then it would go to council in the March meeting. But it's a matter of, it probably would make sense to release funds now, just to know. But
If we decide, if it makes sense to do it,
The
at
problem is
least we
right now,
have.
it's not very well thought out, I think, just in my opinion,
No, it's not.
in terms of, it's almost something like outside of the board, outside of the government, doing it would be easier just because there's more flexibility. But I don't know how many people you could wrangle and things like that.
Well, we've got the Wolverine Lake Village Facebook page, and
Yeah, I mean,
that's probably our biggest,
we just have the biggest thing for the advantage with the village is you have a pay portal and
yes.
site to go and put in a check, as opposed to them going to you or Venmoing you a bunch of cash. Listen,
Bless you.
I think it might be a little hard to pull off right now. I think it would be.
And then I got the 5K right after that.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, that's all.
It's like, if you-
All right, well, you know what, this is, I think we should leave it. I'm just gonna talk to Paige, I'm gonna have her get some bus prices, and if it seems like it makes sense, I'll kind of throw it out there to see what kind of response it is, and if it looks like it's feasible, we'll do it in February, we'll bring it up in February. I don't think much is gonna happen before then anyway, with this weather. We're not gonna be thinking about
Yeah,
it.
who's thinking about spending 5 hours in Detroit?
No, they're
when
not.
it's
And
negative
that
20
last
wind
one, it
chill?
snowed.
My only concern was if you do get a bus, what would be the, how much notice you're gonna need to cancel the bus? So it would be,
30 days.
well, if we're not doing it until our February meeting,
Well,
you're gonna be
so-
stuck with the bus.
So what I'm saying is I need to find out what the price is gonna be on the bus, because, and I can do that in the next couple days. So what we're saying is, do we, wanna make a motion to, to release some funds in the event that we hold this event? Or we could just do it outside, I mean, I don't mind doing it outside of
The village.
the village.
In a way, I kind
You know.
of, sorry it came in late on this.
That's
The thought is that if you don't know, I mean, you're gonna have to ask people you're not gonna find out right away. You have a big guarantee that you're gonna give us the money.
Oh,
so that,
yeah, exactly.
You know,
Right.
Oh, I
It's
know.
not giving you much time for to schedule
That's what-
and to cancel.
Bring it up.
But what I'm saying is, in the past, I never got responses till closer to the time, to the event anyway. Because this time of year, people aren't thinking about St. Patty's Day and like, they're thinking about laying on the couch or going snowmobiling or going
I
skiing or
just don't think we should be
snowboarding
able
or
to price the
whatever.
bus if it doesn't go
Lake
through.
is frozen yet.
Yeah. I'll just inquire about it, and then I can always do it outside there. It's fine. My point is,
Just
we don't
doing it
need
too
to
late.
get food.
Yeah.
I mean, the last couple times they had it, dinner was included.
Yeah.
And if the bus is expensive, then just don't include the food. Just do Jell-O shots and.
I'm all Parks and Rec associated with Jello shots.
For the Tigers. Okay, I think we've hashed that one through enough.
Tuesdays in the park, I know you have some.
Yes, so right after our meeting, I submitted our request for what we wanted to do and the dates. And so obviously she had it all ready to go by January 8th, and we've already got it.
Oh, good.
Got all the dates we wanted?
So it'll be June 18th, and that'll be the kickoff one. July 16th will be the climbing tower, and August 13th will be chaos and commotion. So we got them, so that was,
Do you have the
Awesome.
animals that day?
The Tabitha got them in, submitted the first day.
That's great.
that was not part of the packet. It was not part, the Nature Center was not part of the packet this year. So, yeah, so that's the advantage of getting it in right away. So she submitted it right away.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So we got it. We're all set.
Would we want to include the Tuesdays in the park in the spring newsletter?
Oh, for sure.
Now that we have the
I think
dates for
she
it, yeah.
usually always puts that in there.
Usually a lot of the dates get put in if they've
Yeah.
got them locked in. That's part of their.
Particularly since we have everything so
Yeah,
far
we
in
have the dates
advance.
and the
Now it's
programs.
confirmed. Sure.
And I'll make sure to like contact the orthodontist and stuff. See if they want to participate again. And see if there's anybody else who wants to.
Do we want to set the dates for the summer and fall garage sale?
Sure.
I guess we should.
Isn't the summer one always like the first week of August or something, or second weekend of August? It's always been pretty consistent.
I have the dates for the,
Yeah, I was thinking it's more, isn't it more of like the spring, summer?
yeah, it
Isn't it
says
usually Memorial
it says
weekend?
summer, fall, I don't know
Yeah, I got a
why.
little.
Yeah, I thought it was spring and summer too.
Yeah, I was thinking the spring one, I was thinking probably the August 1st through the 3rd or the following week, the 8th through the 10th.
When do you want the spring one? It's usually around my birthday, like 20, but my birthday is the 22nd, so.
The 22nd?
Well, yeah, I was thinking probably that week, the 16th to the 18th, because otherwise it's Memorial Day weekend. and
Right.
Who wants to go garage sailing then? So May 16th through the 18th for,
Okay, for the spring.
and then for August, I really don't personally have any preference.
Good one.
Let's go with the 1st to the 3rd.
Fishing contest, do you want, so, didn't you chair last year?
Cody?
Brian and I both did. So, we did the second weekend, the second full weekend last year, if I recall correctly, like 10th and 11th.
Okay.
I think that worked out really well. That worked out well with coordinating with Lakes Area Bait Shop because we had the whole summer to get everything in and situated. So I'm almost thinking like, we said the 1st to the 3rd, right, for the August garage sale. I'm almost wondering if we do just the 10th again,
Sure.
Sure.
that first full weekend.
Because there's plenty of time too from once the winners are determined to give the bait shop time to get
Exactly, that's
everything,
the other nice
everyone
thing,
get 'em
too.
before the corn roast.
Okay.
And we will all be there at 5 a.m.
Some of us will be.
Was that okay being there at 5 a.m.? Did you have people pulling up then?
We had
We had a lot of incidents
We
early
had
in the
a
morning.
few people.
Get people to show up at 5 a.m.
We had a few people show up. I think the mistake that I made was having all of the volunteers show up.
Yeah, you need like two.
Yeah, it should have just been like me and Brian.
I couldn't believe that when I walked out from my house, right over, 10 feet over, I was like, oh my God, there's like 5 of you guys.
We were all there, so.
Well, it makes it create like there's something going on.
It does create
because it's-
a buzz, but they're all just gonna get in their boats and drive off, so.
Yes.
Molly did tell me, and I assume you want to co-chair with Molly for the corn roast? It's always, it'd be like the 7th of
Yeah.
September?
Yeah, the first Saturday after Labor Day.
And I did talk to the band, so
Oh, we're all set with
they're
that.
good to go.
Okay, cool.
They'd love to do it again.
So we may have to prepare for a different setup this year.
Yep,
Yes.
probably. I would assume the playground will be either in process or installed, because it shouldn't take long once they start installing it. So we'll see once it's in, kind of how we figure things out and deal with it.
Do we want to set the dates for the holiday and decorating contest now?
Not particularly.
No, I don't
personally.
think so. I was looking at October and I'm like, I don't know what to do.
That's so far away. I don't want to
That's
think
something
about
that's better
that.
to play by ear.
No, we can wait for Halloween and Christmas.
Let's get some actual leaves on the trees first. Leaves falling off the trees.
Lights are still up in our neighborhood.
And then letters to say, no, I see it's down farther too, so.
Yeah, that's,
Because
But that's all set
It had a
anyway.
weird date, it said 2023, and I'm like, the deadline's already passed. She just didn't change the date.
Oh, yeah.
It says 23. So you want to talk about the 5K?
the 5K, we're already set. I've got the,
What's the date?
Yeah.
that Saturday of Memorial Weekend.
25th, I think.
Is May the 25th.
25th?
Yes, 25th.
Now,
We're all set with the chip timer. He's already all set. Actually, I've had like 3 or 4 inquiries about it already because he's got it on some running site. So yeah, we're,
so in the newsletter, do you want to say
Yes.
5K and kids bubble run?
yes,
Okay.
please.
Do we have a time? I mean, I don't know. if I asked,
We
but-
start, I think, I didn't like starting it too early. So I said, I think 10 o'clock,
Oh,
but I'll verify that. But I'm pretty sure it was 10, because the volunteers show up at 8, and then we do the exercise warm-up,
yeah,
and then, yeah, so it starts at 10.
okay.
And the kids' bubble run is, I'll look it up.
Yeah. But I mean,
Remember
we just
offhand.
put kids bubble run.
Yes.
right?
Exactly.
Were we going to consider moving that around a little bit because of so there's not the overlap? So the bubble run happens beforehand?
Oh, yeah,
And
right.
a lot
We,
more so
yes,
those
because the
So the parents,
parents
like-
wanted to be able to be part of the bubble
And then some of the
run.
kids then do the 5K with the
So maybe I do the bubble run first,
Yeah.
and then we start the 5K.
Yeah, because it's
What do you think?
12 seconds. The bubble run's what,
Bubble
12
run.
seconds?
Yeah, it doesn't take long.
Well, but will you
No.
do the bubble run wherever your start line's going to be, or are you going to allow like 10 minutes in between?
Well, if you remember last year, we did the bubble run kind of behind the
Yeah.
concession area.
Yeah. Well, you were just worried about the kids running with the parents, if the parents are way over at the start line.
Well, the start line was
got
just
moved.
there.
Yeah, we moved a
Oh, I
lot
thought it was
closer.
way down.
Yeah.
That was the first
Oh, no,
year.
no.
The second year, it was
Oh,
like,
okay.
Yeah,
here's
it
the
was
bubble
right,
run,
it
here's
was
the-
right there. It was really close.
I just remember being at the end of the park. Okay.
Yeah,
that
no,
was-
it was.
that was pretty
So
nice.
maybe we start the bubble run at 9,
That's a
Times
huge,
the
oh,
5K start.
well,
and the 10K starts at 10. Because they take pictures, and then they get their little medals, you know.
Even, 9:30.
9:30.
I've never seen it because I'm always out somewhere.
Oh, so the bubble run at the finish line, we have the bubble machines, and they're running through the finish line with the bubbles, and then they get like a little medal. What else do we give them?
Candy, they donate it in a
bag.
tree or something.
So, but they took a lot of pictures, so that's where the time, everybody wants pictures of them coming through the finish line with the bubbles, and yeah, it was really cute. So I say we do the bubble run at 9.
Do you think that'll still give us enough time to set up coming at?
It's all set up. Oh,
You gotta
Volunteers.
yeah.
I mean, that's fine with me, it doesn't make a difference what time we have to
Well,
come.
let me think, because Julia and Jeff and Michelle set up the arch, and the guy, the chip timer, he'll be there early. He's usually there at 8.
Didn't you,
He's not chip
Cody,
timing the
didn't you guys
kids,
have to
No, he's not chip
mark
timing
a
the
bunch of
kids,
places or
so.
something?
Yes, so we usually.
Well, why
go,
don't we
like-
say 9:15 for the bubble
Like as soon
run?
as our little group gets together, we just
Yeah.
grab the chalk and we just go. We just go start marking pads and placing signs where they need to go.
Ideally, it doesn't rain the night before.
Yeah.
We could probably do some of the day
We've
before.
been very lucky, knock on wood.
Because the year before, the first year, it did rain the day
It
before.
rained the day
Yeah,
before.
We had to clean out all the sticks.
But it was easy to put the signs in.
Yeah.
It worked out good. Oh, that year that you did it with Gabe, oh my God, that was so hysterical.
Yeah, Gabe and I did it, and I think we did it
You
with
guys are
your
so funny.
nephew. Was it your nephew?
Yeah, it was this year.
Yeah, that was this past year.
Yeah, sometimes I kind of miss that because I'm already out there waiting, to help people go through that. I never get to see the kids. I mean, that's okay.
The other thing that was really interesting is last year, we made a big pot of coffee and we had donuts. And like after we did the warm up and the exercising and after the run, there were all kinds of people wanting coffee and donuts. I couldn't believe it. That was kind of weird. So, and then the other thing is, I can probably get this year Tony's Hot Dogs, like a stand, because he wasn't available last year, but
Didn't you also do granola bars?
yeah, we did
And
granola bars
bananas?
and bananas. But a lot of people didn't, we had a lot left over. We figured one for each, but I don't know, I'm gonna cut it back.
Oh, the bananas.
And when they're gone, they're gone.
All the runners will go, I got this coupon to go to the Glengarry, so we'll go there instead.
Oh, that's right. So I gotta relook at all that, but, something else I was thinking about. I guess that's it. But we're all set with that. Everything's pretty much reserved, and I'm getting inquiries about it. And I got to talk to Jen, because really the easiest way to do it is for them to, the chip timer has a website, and people can register right through his website. And it keeps them out of it. They don't have to deal with any of it, other than passing the shirts out, the day before.
So they can register and pay on his site?
Yes, but Jen, for some reason, didn't want to do that.
Now,
And I
yeah, they
can't
pay,
remember
but
what.
is any of that money go back to the village? They pay the chip? Oh, okay.
Yeah, he pays the village.
Yeah,
and-
oh,
and
okay.
when everything's done,
Yeah, I
he
just
pays the village. And it's really simple, but last year they didn't want to do that. So I'm going to have to talk to Jen about that.
Oh, wasn't there-
It's just like a lot easier for
Yeah,
them.
seems like.
Yeah, their website's probably more developed. It's definitely more,
You
everything
know,
is more developed than our pay portal.
Yeah, and he's happy to do it. He said, I'm glad to do it.
I can't remember, maybe you can remember, Mark. Didn't we have some of the runners come and asked us, was there like a men's, like the timing thing? I
I'm not
can't
doing
remember what
that.
that,
Oh, yeah,
okay.
I'm not doing the
I couldn't
category
remember
thing.
what it was.
No, this is a fun run.
Yeah.
This isn't like,
I think he may have done some of that himself, the guy, but
yeah.
we didn't.
You could go into categories. I guess if the event gets big enough, if we get 100 people,
Yeah.
then
Okay, I just couldn't
maybe
remember
we
what it was.
consider doing like different categories, but I think the idea is more of it's a fun run, it's a 5K fun run with the kids, and,
It's not that
Otherwise,
deep.
you've got to record ages and.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what, I remember.
I'm not doing
exactly.
it.
When they were registering, I remember them asking stuff like that.
Group somebody the wrong way.
I mean, unless he wants to do it, maybe he wants to do it, but I don't think we get enough people.
Okay.
I think we had 50,
Yeah, we have to make sure there's,
I think we had, I forget, I think we had like 60 something.
I want to say it was 50
It was around 6.
It was good, and it was 50, like about 50 the year before. So we might get more this year because it's,
Yeah, we progressed and people.
maybe, we'll see what happens this year, and then maybe next year we'll go into categories.
we have to make sure, wasn't there an issue with the shirts too? Like they couldn't select their size?
No, people didn't select their size.
We didn't make it like mandatory.
No, it was on the sheet, but they didn't put anything down.
And that's another thing
And
about
so Paige tried
It's
to,
it doesn't have a very easy thing to like say, okay.
right,
Yeah.
Tap, click the button. So yeah, Paige tries to call them, they don't call her back. What's she
yeah,
gonna do?
so we just have to
then
order,
you order.
I just
Whatever.
order whatever I think. Sometimes I go on LinkedIn and see if I can see them. Okay,
That's just-
okay, they're a medium.
And that's just, and now you wonder why you return stuff.
But if this guy, if they will allow this guy to do it, there's a check mark next to the size when they register on his site. So, I don't know, I'll make it another attempt at it, and see what happens.
Continuing business, board applicants. Can I turn that over to you, Mark, because I wasn't here when any of that went.
Sure. So we have both Natalie, who's here, and Amanda, who applied to join at the same time. It was a board of 9. We were at 8, so we couldn't take both. So instead, we decided to propose to council that we expand the board to 11. After multiple votes, because it's an ordinance change, which means you have to have first the proposal, then you had to have the first reading, and then you had to have the final reading, which was this past Wednesday meeting. It is now, well, technically, it's not official yet. It's official in terms of voting, but it has to be posted, published in the local paper, which is, I honestly cannot remember the name of it anymore, to be official, but it should be official by the next council meeting, which means, and if not that meeting, it would be for the March meeting, which means that, yes, it's so fun. Government at its most efficient. So that we can finally appoint them to the, recommend to council that we appoint them to the board. But yes, it took 4-ish months.
So do we have to do a vote today?
Yeah, but we can, I'll go ahead and motion to recommend to council that we name Natalie Naughton and Amanda Mogg to the Parks and Rec Board.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, as simple as that. And then assuming things work in terms of timing and that it got published in time, which Tabitha was working on doing, Natalie and Amanda, you will both get notified by the village about getting sworn in, whether that's, you can do that at the council meeting, or you can do that just by coming to the office one day and doing it, and they'll just make you sign this thing, and then you'll be good to go.
Draw your blood.
Yes, then there's a blood oath, you have to sacrifice a goat. Yes, we take it very seriously. The village.
We're gonna have to squeeze in a couple more chairs.
We'll figure something out, yeah, before we get the new table, yeah. We'll figure that out. That's the kind of, I'll take that problem anytime.
We'll have enough.
More than enough people up here.
Molly's there,
Molly and then Linda.
One short.
Linda, and
Oh, yeah,
then
Oh, yeah, I guess we got,
Amanda.
oh, yeah, we got 2.
2 more.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll be cool.
And then we set this, the date for snacks with Santa. It says assigned chair, but I don't know why it just automatically doesn't say Diane permanent. So such date of,
So it's Sunday the 15th? It is?
Yes,
I don't
it is
know
going to be Sunday the 15th,
Because
so
they're not
that ought to be
available on the
interesting.
Is that what
Yeah.
we're doing then?
But we've, deal with what we have.
Yeah.
That was the curveball thrown.
I'll be a fix, I don't know if we're, because that's our.
Can we set a date for the following year
Is
to make
that the
sure we get
advent?
it?
Is that the advent?
No, that's the date the kids usually perform.
Oh, got it. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you know what the other event was? That-
No,
She didn't tell me.
Just curious.
Yeah, who ruined it for us?
Because I thought we always did it the first week.
Well,
of December.
apparently there's less weekends this December, is what Santa was telling me. But to me, it looks like there's more. So I don't.
Oh, like less December weekends before
No,
Christmas?
there isn't.
There's 4.
Is it
Oh,
before
wait, I'm on
Christmas?
23, I'm sorry.
Is that why?
Well, I remember when we used to do it the Saturday, the same day as Advent, so.
Oh, yeah, there's only 4 weekends in December
There's
instead
only
of 5.
And there's only 3 before, so. And that 21st.
What do you mean Advent?
Advent. Always fall on the same day. So I'm
Well, we're
assuming,
going to do it on the 15th. We'll see how it shakes
That
out.
should be fine.
so do we want to check? I mean, I think that's too far ahead for 25, but,
Well, I already told Paige to
yeah. Well, it's going to have to be like, we'll have to reserve the 13th in 2025, because according to Commerce, Parks and Rec, the tree lighting will always be the first Saturday.
Okay.
Have they done that every year, a tree lighting the
No,
first
it's
Saturday?
new.
This is the first day.
You can see it's the tree, it's right outside the building.
And the tree is relatively new, right?
It's not, yeah, it's not a giant tree yet. It'll grow, but yeah, it's
I remember them saying.
probably the best tree they had because it's like, they only have to use about 100 feet of extension rather than, going out. And it's a permanent tree, so I get it.
Do we want to put a deadline for the letters to Santa? Is it, just change it to 24?
Yeah, that's fine. This year we got a ton in at the last minute. There must have been 20 of them.
How many were there total?
I don't know, I have to ask Susie. It seemed like it wasn't that many, and then all of a sudden it,
Yeah, well, you had the stack here, remember?
Yeah. They are so cute. The letters are just adorable.
I like when the people post on the Facebook showing the kids like going up to the mailbox and
Yeah.
putting that and stuff. It's sweet.
Pending business, Veterans Memorial Subcommittee, is there anything? We took that one.
Not much. We took down the decorations. Went well enough. They're now in our storage unit. I did my best to keep them from crowding any of our stuff because we did have a few extras. But we did leave the wreaths up because they're real. So let nature take care of them, or the deer, whatever happens. But yeah, it's in good shape otherwise. Ron snow blowed it after this last snowstorm, so appreciate his work there because that would have been annoying to shovel.
Why am I drawing a blank of the lady that started the Veterans Memorial?
Debbie?
Debbie. Debbie said that we were welcome to use the lights, but I don't know why we would ever use the lights.
What lights?
The lights they used for the decoration.
The red, white, and blue ones?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I didn't know what we would ever use it for.
Well,
we
4th
don't
of
have-
July or
we
something.
never
They
have
would
any-
decorate
I don't even think those
the
were
office
Debbie's.
here.
I
We
didn't
don't
know
have
that they
stuff
were
at
Debbie.
night, huh?
I don't even think they were Debbie's.
Yeah, that's what she told me at the
Really? I thought they were.
the appreciation
Oh, okay.
dinner. It's like, I just want to let you know, and I think Linda heard too. You're just giving your stuff away. But I'm like, oh, I don't know if we'll ever use them. I just wanted to.
If we ever did something at night and we wanted to decorate, I mean, any lighting is good.
Anything with Armenia?
Nope.
Claire Miller, the equipment, is there anything new with her?
Not since the last update that we bought that we ordered that equipment and everything, so nothing new that I'm aware of.
Tennis courts have been added, new tennis court, no, I'm joking.
Not quite, but I mean, I assume you guys all got that email from that Brian Nedrow forwarded?
No.
No.
Okay, well, he forwarded it to me, or to the council. I guess he didn't forward this.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
Okay, sorry, I'm glad I brought it. Somebody had emailed the village about the basketball courts. And it was a guy who lives in Walled Lake, and he coaches multiple youth basketball teams in the district. And he's responsible for all the kids coming out to Clare Miller Park and having basketball games about twice a week. He He created a Facebook group called Bringing Back Clara Miller Basketball, and he had a great turnout almost every time. So it's probably that group that we saw one time. I was like, looks like they're setting something up. Probably him. And he had coaches from all Lake Northern and Central showing up as well. He's looking forward to doing it again this summer. And he's hoping to get some support in terms of getting the courts better surfaced, as you guys are probably not shocked to hear. He's asking if there's any room in the budget to resurface the courts, do some repairs on the, obviously on the cracks and probably the
You
nets
said
on
it
the
is in the budget this year? for
It
them
is
to-
not. Currently, we will be having our goal session in February and our second meeting in council. So I'm certain we'll talk about it then. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I totally it came when I was out of town, and I think I assumed it got forwarded out further. Brian did reply to the guy and explaining that, we're working on the MDNR grant and the playgrounds first, and that's eating up a lot of budget, but that this is something we are very aware of. And we'll be working with our engineer and things on what can we do. And I know that, as we said, we know Andy tried something last year to fill in those cracks a little bit. It just it didn't quite take as much as we would like. So hopefully, now that we've had somebody email about the hockey rink, we've had somebody email about this, the actual courts, and of course, we've had comments about the tennis courts. Hopefully, this will kind of, in terms of council, accelerating that capital expenditure to pursue working on those. Obviously, doing them all at once would be pretty costly, but trying to find something that we can do to improve the conditions, because they're not great.
As a council here, as a board here, should we, let's say the village just allots so much money here for budgeting. Do we need to make the decision what's going to be the priority, what's going to be repaired first?
Absolutely, we can do that. We can recommend to council, here's our, based on things like the master plan and the conditions of the park, as capital becomes available, this is where we recommend the village lay out money. And we kind of did do that in terms of the grant and everything else. It was always just contingent on actually getting it. In order to upgrade the playground equipment, we just felt that was the most urgent space. And then, of course, last year we did end up doing the parking lot, but that was partially because of, we were having, or 2 years ago, I should say, when we had a large paving program already, and the quote we got for the parking lot as a separate item within that broader project was below the quote we'd received in 2019. So it kind of seemed crazy not to take it. When everything else had gone up so much, that number was something 5,000 or 10,000 less. So I was like, well, why not take it and get that done? Because the parking lot was in really poor shape. And we were told the work to do on the playground and things like that will not be stressful on a new parking lot. It's not going to require ultra-heavy equipment that will tear it up or do further damage. So, yeah, but we can certainly recommend. This is the next big space that the village needs to be looking into as we spend monies in our parks.
I guess we should also include probably the BMX tracks, same part of the
Yeah,
budget.
that luckily is definitely a much smaller
And less
outlay.
expensive, I think, too.
Yeah, once we hear
Is that
from
just great again or
I think
something?
that's just great.
grading, yeah, you're going to bring in probably a backhoe to do a little bit of work, but then, and then bringing in some fill. But not
That could be done in a week or two, the BMX
Oh, yeah.
track.
Depends on,
So we can do that at the same time as another one of the larger
Yeah, I don't think that would be the one.
projects.
That would not be the one to, I don't think that would break anything. But yeah, definitely keep it within process. But I have not heard, and speaking of that, I have not heard anything on that. There hasn't been anything there.
So, in your opinion, because the basketball courts and hockey, it's all the same area. You would think you would have to do them all at the same time.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I'd be
Like,
crazy
you
not
wouldn't
to.
break it up.
It'd be silly not to, in my opinion.
I think that would be a huge improvement to the park.
Oh, it would
to get that done.
I think
I
that's
would
what you'd
agree,
want to
it's more
do.
visible, it's more
Yes.
heavily trafficked.
Yeah.
People actually know it exists.
People know it exists,
Yeah.
The tennis courts sometimes.
Yeah,
I think the other
tennis
big thing
courts
too is we can discuss and work with the engineer and things. Do we want to reorient anything? So, like we said, we've got the 2 full-ish courts, and then we have the 2 half courts. We want to do something with that half court, something else. I mean, you can all stay hard
Half-courts are
surface.
kind of pointless unless we're doing like pickup games.
Right.
And if sport teams are coming out, they're not going to use a half court. They're going to use
Nobody's,
court.
I don't, yeah, do we
They're gonna
need,
use a full court.
do we need 2, 4, 6 hoops? Do we want to pull 2 of those and do something else there? Whether that's a pickleball court or just something else. I mean, there's a few other options that we could consider.
I'm a big
Just because
proponent of the
it's-
pickleball courts, but
I think we need at least 1 or 2.
And that way, that would at least put it all in Clara Miller, Maine. And as time goes forward, we can eventually relook at the tennis courts and see what we want to do with those. But I agree. I think that if we're going to prioritize one of those surfaces, I do think the blacktop is probably the one, because it gets, you've got a regular hockey game, street hockey game going on there twice a week at least, sometimes at night. I mean, they're using it. And now that we've got these folks doing this, yeah, I 100% agree. I think that it's good, and it's great to see.
So, we've had this conversation many times before, but nothing ever seems to materialize.
Right.
So what can we do as a board to encourage something to happen with this?
Find
This is
somebody, find
this
somebody
is
to write a
being,
check.
you know,
Honest to God. I mean, the biggest
just
problem is there's only so much money you can spend
Yeah.
per year, and we kind of have been in this wait period with the playground to allocate money to spend on that. So in terms of, capital expenditures, we're talking probably going to cost the village $100,000 to $150,000. The village is also going to have to pay the $100,000 share of the DNRs up front.
Are we
and then
talking
be
about the
reimbursed.
playground?
Yeah. So that's where the money is currently, and that's going to get spent this year.
Okay.
Then, we can start. So hopefully maybe in the, so that would be the 23-24 budget, 24-25 budget. Maybe then we could allocate monies towards the blacktop, as I see it.
And definitely advocate for it in the joint meeting with council when we're going over the budget.
If we have one, yeah, absolutely. That would help, and then, it just is also going to depend on how things turn out with the playground. Once we get that new quote in, what is that number? Because if by the village buying the equipment itself, by taking out some of the things that we took out, how much more does that price get dropped? If, I hope ideally it gets dropped significantly, that'll have an effect on how much can we spend on other things going forward. And then other impacts would be the road paving project that we will be doing this year, the village will be doing, is going to include last year's and this year's, because we did not pave last year. So that will include 2 budgets, 2 years of paving. How does that come in? What does that quote look like? Because generally speaking, the funds we get for roads from the state are not sufficient to pave, especially our minor roads, which are roads without stripes in them, basically. Typically, we don't get enough money for that, so we have to dip into the general fund. Well, if that quote comes in better than expected, maybe we'll have more money to use from the general fund, because we don't want to dip too far into the general fund budget. We don't want to deplete it too much. But, all these kinds of things, it's all kinds of give and take, but we did spend significantly on using the allocated funds from the federal government, from the ARPA, the American Rescue Plan. The village got a pile of money. That money mostly went to our police and our DPW's large capital expenditures, the backhoe, the lawnmowers, police boat, police car, new firearms, all that kind of stuff was spent using that. So they're pretty happy. They don't have a lot of big upcoming items. That should free up a little bit for us to say, hey, we do have some things. They are kind of high on the list. They are a safety concern as well. And so, absolutely.
That's the magic word, safety concerns.
So,
That's further.
So-
Same thing.
reality is we won't be having a discussion on this till probably next year.
Well, like I said, I'll definitely be bringing it up
25.
in
You'll be
the
bringing it up.
upcoming meeting.
So-
Do I think that we'll be able to have one where we're really talking numbers?
Right.
It might be another year.
Yes.
But we can see I can see, talking to our engineer, if he could give us at least an idea, ballpark, what will this cost? You're going to have to remove the fencing. How much of that is reusable? I really don't know. And not just to lay down an inch of asphalt, but to really do a good surfacing so this thing lasts 40 years, because I think that was the last time it was done. And so that's the key. And then, once a crack does emerge in, say, 20 years or 15 years, address it then, rather than when it becomes a chasm that, a hockey stick gets
yeah.
caught in, or an ankle kind of thing, or, you take your cell phone and fit it in the crack of the tennis courts.
Some of them are even bigger than that.
So, yeah, that's the key. It's always, seeing it, getting ahead of it, and staying on top of it, having an effective maintenance plan to address things when they do come up before they become bigger.
When we pave the roads, how is that determined? What roads get paved? The engineer decides?
Our engineer goes through, they review with our, it's based partially on age of the roads and then condition. So the more, and then also use of the road. So how busy of a road is it? So if it's a very, very, very much a side road,
Yeah.
it will let that take more damage or more duration because it doesn't take as much stress each year. On the other hand, if it's a road that's taken a lot of stress, it's a major road, it's a busier, more frequented road, obviously those get accelerated a little forward a little more. But we had a 5-year schedule that's kind of been stretched out to probably 10 in terms of the roads that get paved. So, yeah, I don't have that form with me. But
No, I just was wondering.
Yeah, there's a map that's color-coded.
Yeah. And each section says, okay, this is what's next, and then these are what we're going to try and do. And then, depending on the budget, what ends up happening is, let's say the quotes come in and they are 50% over, you drop some roads.
Yeah.
You just do the ones that are in most dire need of repair, that are breaking down the most, that are putting stress on the equipment as well.
I guess we'll move on to liaison reports, Planning Commission,
Yeah, there was no December planning meeting, so I have nothing to report.
Council liaison, Mark.
Yeah, met last week, did some service awards for Todd on the DPW. He got his 15 years of service, and then Officer Ryan Kroll got his 5 years of service with the village, so they each received something in honor of their work, and hopefully several more years out of both of them. We did not have the audit presentation. We'll probably be having that in February. Our auditor had a family emergency, but I have very little concerns about it. Jen knows what she's doing, so we're good there. The Wolverine Lake Drive, Penny Lake Ditch enclosure should be starting soon, probably next week or the week after that. It should take 3 to 4 weeks to do, and that will solve some drainage issues. And there was the one over by Pinecrest that collapsed. The storm sewer there will get completely redone with the enclosure, so that should get going soon. Other interesting things, we approved the 2024 fireworks contract with a new company called Gen X Pyrotechnics that is based out of White Lake. So we're very excited about that, both as a council and as members of, as Onwards and Upwards is. They are a turnkey company, so they do full service. So day of the event, not only are they going to bring in their fireworks, they have their own barge that they bring in. They are going to be able to set up. They're going to be able to launch it. They're going to be able to do everything. They will not need JR.
Say,
First time in how many years JR can
15
use
plus.
joy?
Love
So
that.
JR will finally be able to have a beer on the 3rd, or whatever he wants to do on the 3rd. Maybe he just wants to sleep. I can't blame him. But he will not have to be up at 11:30 watching dudes clean up the barge and then having to get them to their vehicles and stuff. So that'll be really, really nice. And it's a local company. They've got a lot of really positive reviews from a lot of surrounding lakes. The lakes are primarily what they do. They've been in business for about 20 years. So, yeah, we're really excited to work with them and hoping it's another great show. And but with a lot more, with some perks that
What's
we need.
the cost on that?
The budget is $35,000. The village pays 15, and Onwards and Upwards does 20.
Okay.
So I wrote the first check for the deposit. I wrote that last week. So that was, but yeah, really excited to get that done, get that in the books, and hopefully it'll be another great show. We We voted on the ordinance for expanding the board, so that went over, we're done there. And we did the first reading of the backyard fowl chicken
okay.
ordinance. So there will be one more in February. Should there be no changes there, then that will also become legal, and some people will be able to have birds in their backyards. And then we had a discussion on recreational marijuana, because a attorney representing an entity contacted the village saying they would like the village to review the current ban on marijuana businesses in the village and create an ordinance to allow for it. So the attorney came in, we spoke with him. The village is not going to, in the current state, change its position, but this entity may go out and seek a petition to have residents support it, and then it would go on the ballot. If they can get, I think it's 35% of registered voters to sign the petition with that ordinance. So we'll see how it goes. I was like, hey, whatever. I mean, if it can get through, if people approve it, fine. And then if capitalism says that we need another pot business in the village.
Well, there's not much commercial space
There's literally,
anyway, so I don't know.
the attorney even admitted there's basically about 2 places that could support it based on our current zoning and on the requirements of a marijuana business set by the state. So the original ordinance that they proposed had 2 businesses being eligible, or as a possibility, 2 licenses, pardon me, and he said that they'd be willing to drop it to 1, but I think a lot of people would rather just
They just go
0.
back to Walled Lake. Like,
Yeah,
okay,
I mean, there's
That
so
was the
many
argument.
involved.
That was a
What
lot of
do they need to
most of
come
the
in
council
here
members
for?
argued there's already 3 in Walled Lake. Why do you need another one within 2 miles? And especially because the greenhouse delivers. So
Right.
problem solved there. For that situation, like I said, if it happens, if people support it, and then if somehow they're able to make enough money, the village will get a little bit of that, and everybody will be more relaxed. So, but yeah, as of right now, a little more paranoid, but also a little more relaxed. So, but as of right now, it is, we did not change our position on that, and that ordinance will be, if the ordinance gets changed, it'll either be changed, it'll be changed via the vote. One last thing, last week, former councilman Bob Malik passed away on Tuesday evening. So, yeah, he was involved either on council or on zoning for various parts of 40 years. Last time I saw Bob was at a council meeting, the one where we had the tree review, because he was very much a big advocate of us managing our public trees and making sure they got trimmed and cut. And one of the things Bob said to me was, we were talking before the meeting, he's like, hey, I've been following what Parks and Rec is doing, and just really complimentary of all the great work the board's done. So Bob at one point was the liaison for Parks and Rec for a little while, and there's probably no bigger advocate of saying volunteer and help your community, and he always admired anybody who was willing to do that. So he will be missed, and he was, it's just really sad to hear that he was sudden, unexpected, his passing.
When did he pass? Do you know?
Tuesday night.
Oh, Tuesday.
And
Do we have
services,
any funeral
Friday. Yeah,
arrangements?
I can give it to you if you'd like them. Yeah, that's all I have.
I heard from Laura, our Commerce Park and Rec liaison, and she wanted me to let everybody know, I guess, a resident from Wolverine Lake asked about the pickleball nets, and of course, we already had our snowfall, so this is null and void, but for future reference, the nets will be up till the first snowfall, which we already have. In the meantime, if they take the nets down, residents can rent a net from the Commerce Library, as long as the courts are not closed for the season. She didn't give me any dates of what that meant. Commerce Park and Rec events coming up. They have their 5K scheduled for May 18th. They will have a pickleball tournament on June 1st, August 3rd, and October 5th. Summer concerts will be on July 5th, July 12th, July 19th, and 26th, and August 2nd. They will also have Trail or Treat on October 25th, And the Christmas tree lighting will be on December 7th.
What's this trail treat thing?
She didn't tell me that. She emailed me
Probably
yesterday.
something sort of like what the village did a million years
I
ago.
assume
before
it-
somebody burned it down.
For like our, like they have trunk or treat, you know, where you go
Yeah.
from place to place.
Yeah.
I mean, I was
Maybe
saying
around the
Richardson
trail.
having all
Yeah,
that
I
there,
know.
that would make a lot of sense.
It was at the library. So
Oh.
like from Scarlett's Playground to the
Oh,
library.
yeah, there's that path.
Had a bunch of vendors.
Okay.
And you like went to each vendor and they gave out candy.
Oh, okay.
Any comments from board members?
Looking forward to having you on the board, Natalie.
Yes, here come.
Happy New Year.
Thank you all for coming and for all you do throughout the
Do we
year.
have to confirm the next
We
meeting?
already did. You weren't here. It
Meeting
has-
the following.
Yeah, the 26th. Where's our next scheduled meeting? Can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Sure, I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Meeting adjourned.